The Avengers.
Almost 30 years before Endgame, and here we are. Of course, this game actually takes place in the 60s, and no one talks about that.
Captain America.
Mind the dropping sound, I'm gonna move the window. Okay, so before a scheduling snafu happened, I actually had this originally scheduled for yesterday, but I moved it to today, even though it's not gonna be a part of Konami blog. It seemed correct to put it after X-Men, just because, you know, all Marvel all the time. Like, what I still think is cool is around this time period, you had 4 developers releasing beat-em-ups based on Marvel franchises. This just happened to be 2 of them. And so you had Konami with X-Men, Data East with Captain America and the Avengers. You had Sega with Spider-Man Arcade, and then you had Capcom with the Punisher. So, this game I learned earlier this year for the 4th of July weekend. It took me, I think, it took me like a few days past that to finally get my run. I honestly think this game can be a really easy 1cc, but I also tend to take a lot of risks with this game, so I'm not the best at it. But I have 1cc with 2 characters. So, let's go ahead and get started. Got Vision here, who I have 1cc with, and is very, very good. But we're going to play everybody's favorite Robert Downey Jr.
Iron Man.
Also, this game is full of memes, and I highly encourage every single quote you hear.
Leave it for me.
Here's our moveset's going to start off. They have a shoulder tackle, which is really, really good, especially for grouping enemies together. They have a laser, which is, I'll be honest, I feel like fireballs aren't really something you're going to see in beat-em-ups too often, and that's probably for the best because it makes the game a little bit too silly. Also, the MS Paint money bag is my favorite thing in the game. Okay, so I'm going to get out of the way of these 2. So with Claw and Laser, hoping to just drop the item on him to do a ton of damage, and it hits him twice. Now they're going to go into this little duo pattern. Should be able to mitigate pretty easily like so. The real cheap thing about the laser isn't the fact that you can do it on the ground. You can also do it Eric Akuma style in the air like that. Will that Quicksilver hit that guy? You can also go past max health in this game. Max health is 100, but you can go well beyond that. I don't know what the actual max health is. I think it's like 220, maybe 240. Because every health up heals 20 health. That's not good. Also not good. These guys are actually really dangerous, and I tend to not give them enough credit. Bad hit there. Okay, so this segment here, these bulky guys are actually some of the most dangerous enemies in the game. That hug is a real issue. Alright, so let's talk a little bit more. Hopefully I can get this quick kill on Whirlwind.
You can't escape.
This quick kill isn't super difficult, but you don't want to miss it either.
Escaping.
Start. Alright, nailed it. Sucks I took all the damage at the start of the stage. Nice dive pose.
The Avengers.
Okay.
Avengers assemble.
Stage 2, see another element you don't see a lot in beat-em-ups. Right after this segment of enemies who happen to beat with enemies. God, why I keep getting hit. One thing you're going to see me try to employ more often than I probably should is the throw. Throw is very, very good. One-shots enemies, and you can throw them into other enemies. I'm not even going to try and get them with that guy. That dive kick is kind of problematic at times. Please die. Oh my god. This guy's irresistible. Okay. Anyway. Here's what I was referring to. We actually have shmup sections in this game, which is really cool. The parallax scrolling in the background with the city looks really cool until you realize the city just repeats itself. Still looks nice because of the water, but, you know, a little redundant. Essentially what I'm doing here is I'm just duo mashing the 2 buttons. This being an auto-scroller, I'll take this time to talk a little bit about how the characters work. Iron Man's really, really good because he has not only an air fireball similar to Vision, but he also has a much better dive punch. He can cancel right out of laser with the air laser with dive punch, which leads to combo setups. Vision can technically do the same, but the problem that he has is that his dive punch has much slower startup and sometimes may not hit enemies right out of the startup frames, whereas Iron Man's does. Like it's probably a good 4 to 5 frames faster. It's significant. There's some quick kills with Iron Man that just aren't possible at all with Vision. The Wasp is a power we get into some up sections. She's really, really good. I put her right here on the fighter jet to let her prove her worth. Didn't stand a chance. Wasp is also interesting in regards to her duration. I believe it has to do with how much damage she actually does to enemies before she flies away, because she does fly away at a given point. If you don't rely on her too much, you can actually keep her through the entire boss that we're about to fight. I'm not anticipating that happening, but the boss is really easy, so I'm also not super worried. And yeah, like Butters said, on the Genesis version, Captain America is disgusting because it's the only version where his shield hits on both send and return. In arcade, he's pretty bad. Has a really bad dash attack. Doesn't have air laser. Here we have a totally not Sentinel. Really easy exploit here. We're just going to aim for the neck. We get to intercept anything that comes our way, including those uppercuts. As long as I don't get a block input, we should be fine. Alright, down it goes. The Super NES version of this game is basically impossible. Really, really hard. That was rude. Just time the heck out of that. I'm going to play a little bit safe here. Try to, anyway. Laser guys are an issue when they have distance. Once you're up in their grill, they can't do anything. Bugs get hit. To be real, every version of this game has hot jams. Just how Data East do. So for our boss, we have the Grim Reaper. Not too difficult. I'm going to throw this barrel at him to do a lot of damage to start the fight. But from there, it's just going to be air laser spam. The only thing I'm really worried about getting trolled by is this fireball attack, which is kind of annoying because it has a massive delay to it that I prefer not to fight. Here it comes. You also want to hit him before the blade comes out. That thing has a ton of invincibility from the front. That tree didn't stand a chance at all, that's for sure. I'm being kind of a troll right now. Okay, there we go. Oh, I didn't get the pose I wanted. I always try to go for the elbow pose. If you get it with Vision, he looks like he's lifting. It's great. Or start flexing. The new strat I'm trying as of last night is I want to try and get these guys up here so I can get a 3 throw on the first one. I'm just going to fight him as normal. This guy I'd rather not deal with in close range. I'd rather just shoot him. Yeah, the D-list villain cast is great, but from storyline perspective, it kind of makes sense. I don't know if it's the case with all enemies or all the villains, but the idea behind it is that Red Skull is trying to build this giant laser cannon on the moon to destroy the planet Earth. And he mind-controlled most of the villains you're fighting in this game, including Wizard, another D-list villain, who's actually fairly difficult in this game. His dive punch is kind of a problem. You don't want to deal with it. Like, thankfully, laser does a lot of damage, so we can just spam this. His attacks outside of dive punch are really easy to avoid. Laser's pretty free as long as you stay airborne. Okay, decent there.
Thank you.
The Mariner sends us into the sea. Strats I use here, I tend to stay on the bottom. The guys in the gray scuba suits have spread shot, so I tend to want to make sure I can mitigate that. I did not want to get hit by that. This segment is also known for having the best named boss probably in video game history. We'll see that soon enough. You'd think he'd help out, but he's just going to make another cameo here shortly. Spoilers. That's literally all he does. Alright, so we have the appropriately named Mech Taco. That's actually a translation. Taco in Japanese, T-A-K-O, translates to octopus in the U.S. Hence the name, but it's a glorious name and I love it to pieces. Mech Taco is best mech. Okay, this part's really hard. You have 6 enemies here, 5 of them have lasers, 2 of them only have 1 HP, but I'm going to try and get a throw. And it's that, and got a double kill, so that was really good. The guy without the laser is actually the one that caused the most issues. He's really fast. that drop. Wiggling enemy, also best enemy. This segment can also be tough, just because of the hugger that we're gonna see. Oh snap! I got the despawn. Sick. You can despawn him sometimes with proper movement manipulation. Haven't been able to get that all the time, but once he's gone, you can just shoulder tackle everybody else in the room, easy peasy. Not too bad. All right, so for Mariner, probably our first non-D-list villain. Was probably Iron Man's greatest foe at one point. He's not super hard as long as you're willing to be safe. I tend to take some riskier strats at times, like that. Like if he throws out the clone, he's basically just free to be abused, like so. With bad placement, the clone can't hit you, but I'm gonna hopefully space it out properly. Weird. Okay. His punch is actually a bit of a problem. It has a really big hitbox. It's just slow. But you can be hit by it, and it has good anti-air capability. Perfect fight, though. Not too shabby.
You cannot beat me.
I think we've heard that one a couple times throughout this weekend. Hopefully I won't hear it again today. Okay. Into space. Off the Quinjet. I also love how no matter what character you are, they kind of just descend off that. Like on the Genesis version, Cap just jumps from the Quinjet. No like helmet or anything, even though he's, you know, in space. He can't breathe in space unless it's a super soldier thing I just don't know about. Then I don't know how you explain Hawkeye. These huggers here are a real issue. I tend to want to zone them for as long as I can. I'd rather them not be able to approach me. This one, though, I can bait. Now that there's just one of them. When there's two of them, it's a bit more of an issue. For these guys, I can spawn camp the door. They keep telling us to go, but there's still more enemies. It's like a glitch that happens when you grab one. Once again, shoutouts to Wiggling Enemy. Best enemy. Best enemy is actually enemy TV, but Wiggling Enemy is still serviceable. That was unfortunate. Didn't take much damage, though. Took more damage from the first hit than that hit. This stage is more about the boss fights than anything. Can't hear the vacuum? Yeah, sure. I can get behind that. That's gotta be it. Gonna geek. Okay, so here we have, it's referred to as Juggernaut, but I just call him the Juggerbot because it looks more like an actual robot than Juggernaut. Cool thing you can do here for exploits is if he's walking at you, you can just laser him and it causes knockdown so you can loop him. But if he decides to either dash or roll on wake up, he breaks the cycle. Nothing you can do about it. You just kind of just gotta adapt. If I can loop him again, nope, he decided to roll right away. Not bad. Yeah, the size is the big issue. That's why I call him the Juggerbot. Shield guys can be a bit of an issue because they can block projectiles, so you can really only go melee on them. Makes them hard to group. Any enemy that reduces options, same. The same thing with these huggers. These guys are basically resistant to melee. Like, you can shoulder tackle them most of the time, but if they're dashing at you, they actually have a priority there. All right. More throwing. Rude. Alright, fine. Make me play safe. Sure.
Thank you, it's over.
One last wave of enemies for our boss. Okay. I'm gonna carry one of these big pieces of parts in here, or this one here, since I blew all those up. So on to probably my favorite boss theme of the game, here we have Ultron, who actually can be a problem, but he has great quotes. Also another non-D-list villain. Metal piece of storage there is just for damage. Ultron can be a bit of an issue. He does have really good attacks in the form of his Psycho Crusher, that can home in on you. He also he has weird properties on his laser on Wake Up. It's not purely invincible, but there is some degree of invincibility to it. The geyser cannon's the thing you really want to watch out for, but it's not so much of a problem because of the lasers. It's because of the fact that one of his habits that you saw him do there is he'll Psycho Crusher into the corner to chase you. And that's basically just being trolled. You can avoid it, but you have to watch for it. There's no real speed strat to it. You just gotta have to hope for good randomness. Laser there. See, tried it again. Managed to get the hit though. Here it's just gonna be movement. Great death sprite. Move on to our last stage.
The Avengers. Avengers assemble.
First stage, first and only stage that starts with a smuff section. Now we are in space. Now we gotta go find the laser cannon. Music also bangs pretty hard. I love the percussion in this song. This is actually the hardest jet in the game, I think. The missiles that spawn from it could be an issue. The drones I don't really care about, but these missiles have like really weird heat-seeking properties. It's problematic to put up with. You also can't block drones, as I proved there. Yeah, this is definitely a Data East game, not Konami. Got our Wasp power up, almost missed it. Wasp is less impactful here than she was the first time around, but she's still worth having. She basically creates a shield for yourself. Pretty decent. She can also block incoming shots, which is just nuts. Like if someone lasers at you and she's still spawned in front of you, she just negates it. It's really dumb. Alright, here we have the cannon. This isn't really a fight so much, it's just a stored obstacle. You might as well just treat it like a cutscene. This isn't also not actually doing damage to it. We can't hit it until we hit the bottom, which is why I think this is so stupid. Take out those dudes on top. Once we hit bottom, Janet's gonna leave us. Good, I wanted to kill that yellow guy. He's the biggest issue there. Cannon's easy to take out, just a few jump punches and you're set. Same thing with the wall. Alright, now things are going to get to be annoying because now we're just going to have big open rooms of enemies. I think it's the only thing that makes this a challenge. Like the enemy variety in these rooms is pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Requires you to be pretty observant and adaptive. Pretty decent finale there. Love Iron Man's slot sprite. How is his armor not completely scraped up when he hits the bottom? Alright, so this is actually a weird fight in terms of like comics lore because the controller is only one person, but in this game they decided to make him two people. Not really a super hard fight, but it does have its quirks, particularly these blades. You can destroy them, but as you can see, it creates interesting setups for them. Ugh, that's not good. I did not want to take the damage. We have a couple more health ups through the last stage, and I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of them. Oh, I was trying to go for a shoulder there and missed it. Nice double kill to finish it off. Grab this before I spawn into more enemies. Grab this wrench. That's not good. Leave. Oh, he is scrambling. This is the big issue here. These guys just want to go airborne, and that's really obnoxious. That. I'm gonna play this one a bit safe. That. God, you're still alive? Okay, never mind. So we got a small handful of bosses left. Crossbones is... On Genesis, I think he's honestly the hardest boss in the game, but he's not super difficult here. The big things to watch out for are, of course, his landmines are ridiculous. Because he can throw them pretty much anywhere he wants, and it's random where they land. The other thing to watch out for is that flip kick, which to me isn't even a flip kick. The one where he just like jumps and goes horizontal with it. I can't even explain the physics of that. I can sort of get like the forward roll. How he gets that much momentum, no clue. But... okay, that's cool. I guess if Raiden can do an air torpedo, Crossbones should be entitled to what he wants. Gotta make sure I get these hits. That is also our last health up. 87 is a reasonable amount of health, but there is also one wave of enemies before the finale. So I just have to hope that goes well and play a bit more precautious. sure why they didn't throw in quotes here, but whatever. Alright, this segment's a problem. Last wave of enemies is super gross. That was a good start, though. Off me. You want a shoulder tackle here, but Laser kind of just deals with that all by itself. These extended arms also do a really good job of dealing with it. I actually didn't know that. I tried to Laser out off the stairs, and it just negates it. That's messed up. Okay. On to our finale. Here we have Red Skull. He's actually pretty easy. Once you get him in the corner, you can just combo him to death. Let him jump back in the corner here. Missed a hit. There we go. Should be able to loop him with this. Nice. It turns out, much like X-Men, that's not our boss at all. It was a droid.
The trap. You stupid men.
So good.
We'll teach you the meaning of justice.
Also great. So Mech Skull is weird. It's a fight that requires a pretty good amount of luck to be able to do well in. The more green lasers he does, the better off we're going to be. That's ideal for what we're trying to do. He's giving me some pretty bad attacks here. Particularly the fact that he did machine gun already. I only got like, what, 2 lasers before he started going other stuff? Missiles are a problem. Not the biggest problem, but still a problem. Biggest issue is tornadoes, and I hope I don't see those at all. Yep, here we go. Got caught. Alright, got him anyway. Gonna lurch on over to his captor pod. Even though I have no control over my character, the official end of time is when we board the Quinjet on the OK Go quote. I definitely did not expect to once you see all of my games in this block. That was nuts. That was real good. This out of the 4 I had today, this one is actually the one I was the most worried about. This game is, like I said, I don't think this game's that difficult, and I think anyone willing to spend the time with it can actually, once you see it, as long as they have beat-em-up familiarity. It's just that it's a playstyle thing. I tend to take a lot of risks when I play games like this, and this game really doesn't want you to do that. So it's what it is. But again, thank you all for the GGs. Game's really fun to show off. It's like, I mean, it's pretty fun for the most part, but like I said, I like playing at marathons just because the memes are just ridiculous. The quotes are great, the characters are great, the villains are great. It's just, it's great. It's a fun game. It's an arcade classic. I think it's also Data East only beat 'em up. There may have been one more. Actually, they do Night Slashers. Might have been Irem. I can't remember. But yeah, Namor actually. He hasn't been in one yet. Anyway, thank you all again for the GGs. Looks like up next we've got the return of Scuddy. Gonna be doing 3 games for us. Got Athena, Spin Master, and the arcade meme of Shackled. For those who don't know, well, I'm not gonna spoil it. So let's go ahead and get that going. And once again, everybody, thank you so much for being here with me today. I had a blast this weekend with the Coin-Op Classic. I'm going to stick around as long as I can, but I will unfortunately not be here for the finale. But yeah, you all have a great rest of the marathon, and thank you all ever so much.